What would happen if Usain Bolt raced against himself? This
Motion
is
sensor in every room?
Usain Bolt.
But what if you're not in a room and the motion sensor go off? What you doing then?
He's competing against 31-year-old Usain Bolt and other Usain Bolts in between. Who wins?
Never touch a light switch again. Guess it's time to move. Could be in the crib. Lights going off and no one there.
He was 23 years old when he set the current world record at 9.58 seconds. He was never able to match that time again. If we look at the other best...
Damn, he was young, 23?
We see that some peaked in their 20s.
I still got time.
And a few
Okay.
in their 30s.
I still got
Typical
time.
peak of a 100-meter sprinter
Might make it
is
to the
around
league.
age 25 to 27. But what about our other physical and mental peaks? Do we just peak in the 20s? You might be thinking that this is going to be a depressing video showing that your life only gets worse from now on. But as a 30-year-old man who gets back pain from coughing too hard, I was happy to find out there are still several peaks in life ahead of me.
Nah, 30 isn't
Scientific
old.
papers and gather data on the
That's not
physical
unk
and mental
status.
peaks across different stages of our lives. I also asked my subscribers to fill a survey with their age, and these are the results. And good news, there should be some life peaks ahead of all of you in this chart. I'm gonna start by breaking your life into 4 stages.
Damn.
Stage 1, your childhood.
Alright, that's where a lot of y'all
It
at.
seems that you can run around forever, even when the adults around you get tired. It's at this age that you get your peak in fatigue resistance and speed of recovery.
I was a fast ass kid.
You keep
I was
getting into
quick.
accidents, but that's okay because it's like your body's made out of rubber. Your flexibility peaks around early adolescence.
Y'all know when y'all was like
Skills you
younger
have now
and the fastest
are
kid
built
was
on
the
neural
coolest?
circuits that were shaped during certain critical periods of your young life. For learning a second language, it seems that the critical period is until age 7. If you start learning a second language after that age, you can still become proficient, but achieving a near-native fluency becomes more challenging. And research suggests there are also critical periods in childhood for musical abilities. But things are still getting better.
Yeah, that's when I learned to play the clarinet. Kids are fast as fuck and resilient, man.
Life's good. You feel invincible.
Facts.
Your reflexes are faster than ever. Your reaction times tend to peak in your 20s.
I feel like I didn't really... Honestly, I feel like I'm not really peaking until like now. Like low key, I feel like every like era or like every like time period of my life just gets better in different ways. And even physically, I feel like I started slow, but it's it's going up.
Explosive sports. That's the case of the 100-meter sprint, as we've seen before. In Olympic weightlifting, the age peak is around 26 years old. It's a bit harder to measure performance objectively for team sports, but the studies I found for basketball and football also place the peak age.
Do you feel like you hit your peak yet?
Even though in the 20s,
Or you still climbing?
As effectively as a kid, you're sharper than ever. Your visual working memory, the ability to temporarily remember and use visual details, peaks at age 20. And in the early 20s,
Wait, what?
You also peak in fluid intelligence.
Wait, visual working, what that mean?
And in the early ability to temporarily effectively as a kid, you're sharper than ever. Your visual working memory, the ability to temporarily remember and use visual details, peaks at age 20. And in the early 20s, you also peak in fluid intelligence, the ability to solve new problems without relying on pre-existing knowledge.
So if I can't solve nothing, I'm cooked? Wait.
Peak in fluid intelligence, the ability to solve new problems without relying on pre-existing knowledge. You're smart, but you're still figuring things out. You quit your job and you book a trip to Bali to find yourself. Your brain still hasn't accumulated a lot of knowledge. And
so I'm not gonna get smarter?
Much later in life.
Wait.
Enter the 30s.
Oh shit.
Your hangovers now last 2 days. You don't understand how you could party so often when you were
I ain't never had a hangover in my life because I don't drink. What does a hangover feel like?
About their new air fryers.
What does it feel like? I'm curious. I don't want to find out, but like,
which
describe it.
You want to be associated with.
You still leave new
In
things?
sports, several peaks happen in the 30s. Marathon runners peak around age 30, and there's an interesting trend. It seems that the longer the duration of the event, the later the age peak tends to be at. 100K ultramarathon runners peak around age 35.
I'm gonna do a marathon one day.
100-mile ultramarathon runners
I've been plotting on it.
around age 37 or 39.
A really bad headache.
People also hit their top strength around this age, with powerlifters peaking around age 35. Cognitive.
I say that because I've seen what people look like after they get drunk and look like the process, and it just looks like dog shit. Like it looks so unfun. It looks like it's painful. I don't understand. Like
some hit their peak in the 30s.
What's the
The
point?
ability to remember new faces tends to peak back.
Don't you like kill brain cells in the
So
process
notion that you
too?
peak in your 20s is not necessarily true. There are several peaks in the 30s and still a few more to come. Enter the second half of your life. You feel tired.
I think I'm gonna
and you
peak at
don't
30.
care anymore. You're trying to
I might
avoid
peak
the
at 30,
influence of
30.
your life crisis. What other peaks could there be left? Although your brain no longer
I might
has
peak at
neither
35,
plasticity nor
maybe.
the fluid intelligence
33,
of your time,
34,
you have
35.
a greater ability to use accumulated knowledge, also known as crystallized intelligence. In careers where the years of accumulated knowledge are crucial, age peaks can occur in the middle age.
It's more your liver getting
The average age
fried.
of a successful startup founder is 45, contrary to the stereotype of young founders. And to my surprise, some research indicates that the peak in happiness actually lies with
Wait.
young founders.
Yeah. Okay. So something I've been learning, bro. A lot of CEOs, like a lot of business owners, a lot of people started later
To my
in
surprise,
life,
some
bro. Like
research
they started in their
indicates
late
that happiness
30s,
actually
early
happens in old age.
40s.
There's a
And
theory
it's
that
like-
suggests that happiness has a U-shape.
It's like the world makes it seem like if you start later in life, you're cooked. You're not. Like,
But I found it interesting.
There's so many successful people that really got to it in their late 30s, 40s, 50s.
A survey that measures things like
You don't gotta wait
happiness,
that long,
income,
but-
and health. They found that the self-reported level of happiness was higher for people with higher income overall, suggesting that money does contribute to happiness.
It
They
takes.
also found
I
that
think money
people-
takes away the stress. It takes away
that
the
mean
like
the U-shaped
the
theory is
worry
wrong?
part of it.
Well, firstly, they found that people in the lower and middle income groups did have a midlife dip. And secondly, they found that if we adjust the data to include factors like being healthy, having children, and living together with someone, you do get a U-curve with a peak at an old age, regardless of the income level. In other words, old Europeans who don't fall into certain factors like being unhealthy or living alone are actually likely to report a higher level of happiness than younger people. The data is open source, so I decided to explore it myself. If we plot the age on the x-axis, income on the y-axis, and the self-reported level of happiness on the z-axis, we get this picture. As the age increases, the spread in happiness between different income groups increases as well, suggesting that income matters less when you're young, and we can see the midlife happiness.
Do you think income controls your happiness?
Even though the happiness
Or, like,
U-shaped
it's a
theory
big
is still
factor in it?
debated, I personally think it's uplifting to see that there's at least a few people that hit their peak in happiness at such an advanced stage of their lives. There's more research related to your life peaks that I didn't include to keep the video short, but in summary, these are some of the peaks in your life. Does that mean you can't learn new languages when you're 30 or be strong when you're 50? Fortunately, you can. That's the good news. For most of these things, you can maintain good form and even improve if you take care of yourself. Many athletes can maintain good form throughout life with training. Bernard Hopkins, a professional boxer, won the IBF light heavyweight title when he was 49 years old. And the same principle applies to your brain. Although there is some neural deterioration that occurs with age, your brain can still adapt and improve its performance with mental training. There are a few things you can do to make sure you age well mentally.
Money is definitely a factor in happiness.
Physical health,
How much of a
staying
factor though?
active, eating healthy, and sleeping well.
How much?
Take care of your mental health, do social activities and hobbies, and manage your stress.
'Cause
And finally,
I don't think it's
engage in
money itself. I
stimulating
think it's
activities
what
throughout
money
your life.
can do, if that
And
makes
no
sense.
matter
Because like
how
money,
old
it's
you are,
just
I personally
currency.
think
It's
it's never
just
too
like
late to
you
start
using the
learning.
bread to get what
And if
you
you want to
want.
make sure you
Feel
stay
me?
sharp and never stop learning new things, you can try today's sponsor, Brilliant.
My
Brainwell
ad senses
is
were
Word of the
tingling.
Year by Oxford.
All right, WV man.